My friend Ron Baldwin and I both wanted to visit the Roman Empire's Hadrian's Wall in northern Britain, but we only had 9 days between its orchard irrigations, so we left right after Easter 2019. Hadrian's Wall is found on the English-Scottish border between the North Sea and the Irish Sea. 100 miles north of Hadrian's Wall is the 37-mile-long Entice Wall, but we had no time to visit that. With limited time, we set our scope of trip. We knew from past travels, you can't see everything, so we stuck to our Roman focus. And what references did we use to help develop our trip? Our main document was Hadrian's Wall Path by Trailblazer. It was excellent for planning, places to stay, places to eat, and step-by-step maps. Another wonderful reference was called Hadrian's Wall. It was focused on archaeology, engineering of the wall, and sociology of the area. And finally, the Visit Britain's Heritage Guide. The great thing about the Heritage Pass Guide, it broke down Scotland and England into separate areas and gave you little flags of places of interest. And then there are the movies. We discussed the movies we've seen that dealt with Romans in Britain. These were our two favorite. With our limited time, we had no way to explore the whole 73-mile length of the wall. So based on our guidebooks, we selected Chester's to Bertelswald as having the best features of the wall. We also wanted to go as soon as we could when Hadrian's Wall was open for walking, and that was Easter, when erosion was less likely. The advantage of traveling off-season or at the start or ending of Hadrian's Wall season is lack of crowds. Here Ron demonstrates the crowded Hadrian's Wall shuttle bus. Even when we used a ferry to cross the Tyne to another Roman fort, it was near empty. Expecting rain, wind, and cold, we were greeted with sunny skies and very few people. As we walked along the wall, we'd stop at forts, and again with hardly any visitors, we had lots of time to read the inscriptions and talk to a very relaxed and friendly staff. Even in the city of Hexham, where our train and shuttle bus met, it was just us and the locals. Another goal was to avoid a lot of packing and unpacking and moving, so we based ourselves in the city of Newcastle near the east end of the wall. Our first day was just to adapt to the new time change, see the city walls, and enjoy Newcastle. With limited tourists, we even had wall gates to ourselves. Walking throughout this wonderful university city, we did enjoy some non-Roman sights. We built options into our trip in case of rain. One day a storm was projected, so we went down to the city of York. That's the base of the Roman 9th Legion. Their demise is still debated. Normally, York is about 3 weeks behind California in blooms, but it was in full bloom. We started with a wall walk, typically very straight to Roman standards. At each corner were guard towers that you could walk right around and in. Within those, stone coffins. One non-Roman site we did visit was the Minster Cathedral, one of the largest in Northern Europe. This cathedral has 128 stained glass windows. Minster does have tours daily, and they do also let you attend services. A major standout in the city is Clifford's Tower, the remaining main tower of York Castle, dating from the 1250s. I've been asked by many, well, how was the food and drink? From the start, we wanted to stick with historical facilities, so we went old. Our favorite was the Old George Inn, Newcastle's oldest pub, dating 1582. Even King Charles I was a regular visitor. Imagine some bloke 437 years ago sitting in the same seat I was, having a pint. A very special night for me was at Quayside Traders Pub, which is owned by the Old George Inn. The manager talked to us about our trip, and I mentioned that I collect flags and that every year for pub night, I provide all my UK flags to the St. Anne's Episcopal Church in Stockton. He ran up and came back with a brand new Old George flag inscribed to our American cousins, greetings from Newcastle. Our final meal and chance to enjoy local ales was at the Wetherspoon's Newcastle, the Quayside. We both knew that the Romans were very strict on making their walls and roads straight, but actually seeing it over the undulating terrain was very impressive. This short section shows that straightness, even though it's got to go over the hills behind me. These walls were 12 to 15 feet high. Here Ron is walking along another long stretch of straight wall. Notice that on this beautiful sunny day, we have the countryside to ourselves. Looking behind me, you can see again how straight the wall is considering the terrain. Here at Limestone Corner, an engineer and his workers faced their worst nightmare. They could not move straight forward. This was a super hard basalt stone, and it appears the Romans soon realized that trying to hack through this rock was pointless. So they left the blocks where they were and moved on. A final example of how the Romans tried to make straight walls no matter the terrain. This is Sycamore Gap. It happens to also be a scene in Kevin Costner's movie Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Thankfully, it was the farmers and landowners that saved the wall. With some funding, archaeology continues. Main Site 1, Chester's, is a prime example. All the forts have the same main features. Our second major site is Halstead's. It has a wonderful museum, excellent excavation, and you can walk on the wall. On a sunny but cool and breezy morning, Ron and I had a chance to stand on the wall and see how the Roman guards would have viewed the terrain that they were guarding. Leaving Halstead's, we were able to legally walk along the wall for about a mile stretch uphill. One stop Ron really wanted to make was at the Brocolitia Roman fort where the Mithras temple is. That's a mysterious Roman religion. The artifacts found at the fort at Vindolanda are collectively the most important site in Roman Britain. Once completely excavated, it may become one of the most important Roman sites in the entire world. We were lucky enough to be there while excavation was going on. While we were there, they found a shoe, and because there was hardly anybody around, they let Ron and me examine it. The only non-original structure on the site is this mock-up what a turf or stone turret or guard post would look like. And because of our past experience in emergency management, we did enjoy some of the statues that were found, such as this river god of the North Tyne. And finally, Coventina, a goddess of water. We hope you enjoyed our tour and inspire you to see this historical area of Hadrian's Wall.